Welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and our two guests today, Sandra Albertson and Rebecca Johnson from Thunder Bay Counts. So we've heard a lot about trying to get a picture of what's really going on in Thunder Bay. So who's involved with this process? Rebecca?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, the strategies at the start of the program, Steve, and there's no question all the strategies, whether they're the accessibility, whether they're the poverty, youth, et cetera, but there's beyond that, we had to look at how do we bring the community together for all of this? So we went out and strategized that and decided that we needed organizations at the table. So from that, we have all the various components of the education sector. We have the policing sector. We have the City of Thunder Bay, who really needs to be at it. We have the Chamber of Commerce, for example. We have the various, the District Labor Center Council. We have various community organizations, the health sector. I'm just trying to think of them. Because we need to look at that as, and sitting around this table, helping us make this decision, because they're the ones that have the data. And they also are the ones that, how do they see sharing this data that will be a benefit for them? And so we pull them together. We have the Indian Friendship, I'm going through my list here, Indian Friendship Center, the United Way, et cetera. So there's a number of organizations that are saying, how do we make this work? How do we, because they realize that the sharing of data is so valuable, and it's really important for them so that they can make better decisions for their organization and what they're looking at in their strategic planning and all the rest of it. So they're sitting at the table and they're saying, what's our part in this? And how do we actually provide the data? And then what are we going to do with that beyond that? So we're still at the growing stage, but there are definitely organizations that are in this community that are saying, we want to be part of this.
So just as we're talking, a little light went on in my head. And an earlier show, I had Patty Hydew from the Shelter House.
Correct. Yep.
And she made the point, homeless person from whatever studies they had costs like $100,000 a year when you look at all the different things. But if you put them into a home, it could be $20,000.
That's correct, yeah. So
in a way, that's kind of is trying to get all the partners around the table and say, can we do this a better way?
Exactly.
So Sandra, tell me, what is the process that you've been using so far, and where are we at in that process?
Right. Well, the process, as I started to say earlier, was first of all looking at the research so that we could get a good understanding of what some of those common themes were that were percolating out of the community in respect to areas of concern or issue or needs, I guess you can call it. And from that, we took that information and we presented it back to the community at several community forums, focus groups, key informant discussions and things like that, to really get a good understanding of where people saw this project going. We formed the Thunder Bay Counts Roundtable that Rebecca was speaking about and brought the information to them. We're up to around 60 different people sitting at that table.
Wow.
It's huge, and the interest is, it's actually growing as we talk. And so from that, we have now got to the point where we have some draft goals developed. They're in around the areas of community inclusion, looks at things like racism and all those different things that help or I guess hinder people from feeling like they're included or they're part of this community. Looking at housing that you spoke of, that is a key challenge that has come out over and over again. Employment equity, and looking at things like the food security and transportation, and the last one was around addictions and mental health. So those, again, they're very broad and encompass a lot of things. So that is going back out to the community, and what we've done is we've developed another survey where people from the community can actually go online and look at what these goals are and give us a little bit of feedback, endorse them, that kind of thing, so that when we go back to our next roundtable meeting, which is happening in February, we can say that, this is what the community has told us. These are the goals that have come out of all the work that we've been doing. And hopefully we'll have them endorsed, and we can move forward then with the next step, which would be the development of the indicators or the measurements of how we're going to reach those goals. And the third step that's happening this spring is we're bringing together all of our local funders. So we're looking at quite a few different funders we have here locally, and looking at how we can strategically fund our community better. We're a funder, the United Way of Thunder Bay, but we don't necessarily know what the Community Foundation is doing, or the District Social Service Administration Board. And I think if we sit down and start talking as funders, how can we actually fund our community better, then we'll make better use of the resources that we have available to us.
So we're in the second stage now, and you talk about a survey. So who would you like to get involved in that? Whose opinion do you want to have in this next month or so?
Right. I think it's open to everyone. I think as a community, we all have to step up to the plate. A lot of people can voice concerns, but until we actually start identifying where those areas of action should be, and people saying, yes, we believe this is important for our community, then the change isn't going to happen. So it's everyone. It's our community, and I think all people should have an opportunity to be part of the decision-making processes that occur, especially around social challenges and things like that. Because we can't necessarily get into the nitty-gritty of being on the front lines of making the change, but we definitely can be aware of what needs to be done, and endorse the change that could occur.
Okay, so for people that are watching the show now, and they want to add their opinion on any of those important topics you talked about already, how do they do it exactly?
Well, we'll show the link for the survey itself, or they can go on the United Way of Thunder Bay website. We're going to have a link up on our website as well.
Get on your little computer and go on the internet
exactly.
now.
And it's a basic survey, monkey survey, very simple to fill out. And once they complete it, so the information goes directly back to us, so that everybody's opinions and things will actually
And it's
be into the
confidential,
mix.
too.
Yeah,
So
and
that's confidential. So you don't know who is sending in these comments?
No, or if they so choose, they can actually add a little piece to the end where they can provide their email, and if they would like to be kept up to date on what's happening with Thunder Bay Counts, then we most definitely can put them into the mix of people who we're communicating with on a regular basis.
Terrific. So this is an important component. In order for this to make it work, we need
Exactly.
more people to participate. And so we really encourage everybody, get on your computer there,
Yep.
go to that website, or go to United Way Thunder Bay, is that?
Yeah, United Way of Thunder Bay website.
Okay, great. Well, we're just winding down. We're just about out of time. We on this show as well are always looking for your feedback and your thoughts. You can do that by going to Facebook. We have a Facebook page called Community Conversations. You watch this show, if you want to have some feedback, send it in on Facebook. We also post the show on YouTube. There'll be a link as well in a couple of weeks on the Facebook page. We would like to encourage other people's thoughts and ideas, and if you have ideas or issues for future shows, please send them in on Facebook. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.